Oh, who's a good chat? Who's a good chat? We are. Nope, not you. People have expressed interest in these things that I do. Little tutorial things that, you know, basically I explain. So tutorials are always good. It's free content for everyone. So Sponge, if you're watching for the next 20, 30 minutes, you want to take some notes, buddy. Yeah, notes on what not to do. Okay, so everyone buckle up. Today we're going to talk about a highly competitive way to play. A lot of people, basically with map randos, people are confused by the decision making. It's always like, why would you do this? When would you do this? I've seen you do this. I've seen you break logic here before. Why aren't you doing it now? So we're going to go through another seed. Hopefully this is a good example of a seed because I'm just trying to make it random. So then I am trying to make decisions as well at the time. Yep, we got our stuff ready here. Let me change the color. Green will be a little bit easier to see.
Nah, I don't like green.
Ah, too fucking bad. All right. So we're gonna play through it. So I'm gonna pretend that this is me versus Nito, or me versus Eddie, or me versus Nitro, or me versus Aussie in the tournament, and maybe I'm up one, and I'm trying to seal the deal, maybe. Or I know I made a mistake and I have nothing, or I have nothing to lose or something, and I'm playing a really good player, or I need to win, you know, something like that to progress. Basically, I'm playing someone, yeah, okay. I'm playing someone that I know is very, very good and is really good at decision making. So definitely Sponge. Uh-oh, this is gonna be a terrible example. So I'm gonna go to the right to take a rip. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so speed booster. Immediately when we get speed booster, we're thinking, what are we doing? You'll notice once again, I always say I'm not pausing until I get to a spot to where I can branch off, because I might see the map. I still might see the map as I drop. So that's a blue door, and bam, map right here. I know it's not Phantoon since that's the yellow door. All right, let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay, so this is going to be a baby seed. Terrible example. Next. Okay, so we were given speed. What speed allows is obviously aqueduct. That's one thing that is going to be in logic. If there was a runway right here, I would try some cheeky stuff. But what the game expects you to do is go down to this door. It's going to be a blue door. Almost always, you can assume that this is a blue door if there's nothing else to do. But we take speed, and then we're going to grab this. It's probably like morph. Or no, might be gravity or something. I don't know. Let's find out. I don't know. This could be a number of things, actually. This item, because there's two major items in the sandpit. So it's like, if it's gravity, then morph ball is probably in the sandpit. This could be morph, or it could be gravity, or it could be neither. We might have to go up to Brinstar, top left. So you just shine spark over here. Gonna be high jump. Honestly, it could be. All right, Oats loses. Ah! Oh, Oats. He needed to win this one against Nito. He's already 2 minutes behind. This is a linear seed. Oh, no. Yeah, this is everything. If he loses, he's out of the tournament into the copper bracket. All right, so we're going to do this one more time. So, over here. They do have a copper bracket now, by the way. So, Nito won the silver bracket last year, so now Nito can go win the copper bracket. He can throw and then just bully the copper players. All right, so anyways, as I was saying, we're going to see what this is. So power bombs might be morph, might be gravity. What is it? High jump. Okay, so someone did mention high jump, but okay. So high jump does this. If it was high jump, we still have to go down the sand pit. So this, ooh, that was close. So let me make sure that I'm not going to die. So here's the thing. This is actually a little bit weird. So I'm going to make sure I don't get hit by Gary here. I'm going to save. I would like health. The reason this is weird is because we can't take any hits coming up. So we assume that it's Morph Ball. Could have just saved before, but now in an actual competitive play, I wouldn't save. I'm going to show you one thing that I would do. It's kind of awkward though. Yeah, so morph, and then here's the thing. Now, this is competitive. I'm going to show you. The logic actually doesn't want you to do this, but there is a way to get up here to this item. It's plasma. So obviously, if I was playing Nito or any, like Aussie or anyone, we're going to be underwater while jumping to this. Okay, so the hardest part is just getting up to this ledge, but it's awkward. So I would be doing this to get plasma early. Plasma is obviously a very nice item. Now here's the thing. This is awkward. I'm going to try a setup. If I take a single hit, I die. So I'm actually kind of shocked, unless I was supposed to go grab something in Bryn. The game must require an E-Tank in Bryn. I'm not going to do that, but... So I took off high jump. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to moonwalk and then jump, spin jump. And this should allow me to dodge both. It's a little bit awkward, then you need to be careful at the end. So that's a little trick that I would use in this, because the game might want you to... let me see if there's anything over here. I should probably focus up. The game... go grab that E-Tank. The game probably wants us to grab an E-Tank. Before, in Brinstar, maybe. I don't know. So, in this situation, I am just grabbing this. And then saving. I'm actually going to take one more peek and see if there's ammo that's accessible currently. There is ammo to the left. It might actually want that ammo to the left. If you look here. So, it might want that. But I'm going to, since I saved, or I'm going to save after, I'm going to do this. So when you get Speed Booster, it also allows for this. You Shine Spark up here. And then we're going to see what Bryn has. If all of a sudden I'm locked out, then I revert this save. And then I do this, which is really annoying. But at least I have an E-Tank now. And then I do probably either back to Bryn, depending on what I saw, or to Norfair. So then I have to make that decision. So in this situation, I think, other than that death at the start, which was just for content, I am thinking about trying to maybe deviate.
8-minute pause menu.
Because I'm thinking,
oh my God.
if I'm playing Aussie likes to do things a little bit differently. I think that if Aussie has the opportunity, if he did grab those missiles, he might. I probably should have just grabbed those missiles initially, but I was afraid of this stupid, you know, of yours. They'll one-hit you. I'm thinking Aussie would probably go to North area. But he does like crazy strats and routing, and I'm just like, what the hell? Okay, so I see the map is top right. I see that there is a two-way save up left. I am just gonna try to peek through doors that are closest to me. This is not that. So super missiles. So now those missiles aren't necessary. So this is probably what the game wanted. Would be my assumption. I'm gonna see if I can continue through this. Make sure I don't get locked. It should be. Oh, I mean, we're fine. Probably just a dead end here. Okay, nice. More power bombs. So then I'm gonna continue. This is kind of an annoying little maze here. My goal right now is to the map to get information as quickly as possible. So now with this, I'm feeling confident that this is exactly what the game wanted. So then I'm not going to like make any deviations here. Oops. I'm going to check this because this either is a dead end, which could have been an item, or it does connect to that elevator. So I was just curious. Ow! Oh, and if you have any questions as well, feel free to ask. I'll try to read the chat as I go along too. Okay, so this is not something that I can do right now. So unfortunately, this stupid... Okay, no, we can still go here, but... I'm thinking, like, obviously, when I'm here, I'm trying to, like, go up to the map, but you never know. Sometimes it's, like, some random path, and it's always kind of annoying, but I cannot see that until I get... X-ray actually allows that, and if I had X-ray, I would probably at least see what it is. Maybe. If I know that it's a major item and I had X-ray, I would probably do it. You can do something called an R jump, which I know Sweaty Eddie, Aussie, Nito, all of them would probably do if they had it. So R jump allows you to kind of like clip up a block a little bit. Okay, so we found Mother Brain. That's important to keep track of. There's a runway. That's kind of the things that we look for. There is a runway, so I don't technically need ice. So I can save. If I don't get ice, it's not a problem. Okay, so now this map sucks. Let me show you. Unless there's something in between. There is not. So this right here is a one-way. So there's no way up here unless we have X-ray. Even with X-ray, I wouldn't be doing that. So I'm just gonna probably keep my items because it's quicker than reverting. This is fairly fast. And then we have to go up the elevator, and now it's gonna be like that instead of like the most obvious, quickest route is now not the route. So we have to go up and then right, it seems. So fun stuff. What's up, Luke? Going good. Yeah, I have to go back to the elevator now. Yep. Why not go up the elevator? Because math. This many tiles is fewer than this many tiles. It's just the way it is. And this could just be, obviously this is going to be like a transit. Like, if it's just upright, that might actually be wrong. Because we obviously have other paths, right? Like, it's going to be a little bit this way, a little bit this way, maybe all the way here. Maybe we get like big pink or something. You know what I mean? So, but with this, maybe it's like, maybe up the elevator, it's this door, it's some weird path that way, then back up. You know what I mean? So, it's just the path that makes the most sense. And it's the fewest tiles on initial glance. Okay. So we're going back down to the elevator. This is kind of an annoying jump, so I'm just gonna do this. In my experience, it's just mixed. All right, well, I gotta like actually get a good jump here. There we go. I mean, we just don't know. So you could argue that going up the elevator is just quicker because then you cover like 5, 6, 7 tiles. Who knows? I just like to... Let's take a look at the map and I'll show you again. There's often like shafts. Like the game isn't going to just be like this. It's not going to just always be this easy, right? It's all obviously it's not going to be this easy either, right? So what we hope for is like a hallway, maybe red Brinstar or red tower, then another hall. Maybe we have to go down a little bit. You know, and then maybe this is big pink. You know what I mean? That's it. We just hope that it's something like that, as opposed to up here. Who knows? This could be the same situation. This that just happened here could have happened just up here and then been a dead end, and then we were supposed to do this, and this is like big pink. That's it. Some people might favor the elevator over like a diagonal approach. It is what it is. Here's what I'm gonna do here. Before I leave, I see that this, and this is the way I look as well when I'm playing. New map pool complicated the blind navigation process. Did it? Honestly. So when I am looking at the mini map, I'm playing, I'm looking at the mini map. This is a dead end. This could be a refill. This could be an item. There's a lot of rooms with items, you know, with left doors. So since I know that this is a dead end, if this wasn't a dead end and it was open still, I might skip it and then just go right for the map. But I like to try to check to see if it speeds up the process. It's an E-tank, which is nice. It does help. So this just like little things to keep in mind when you're navigating. Like my eyes are basically watching the mini map. I do this, I'm looking at the mini map. Obviously I know this is a ship room. I think the map should be to the right of the top. So I'm gonna just come up here. Most maps push you to follow step-by-step process. Do you think breaking that process is useful? Yeah, so I was hoping to get an example of a seed to where I can break that process. Right now, this is a little bit linear. We could have gone to Norfair after I got after I got super missiles, but then we got grapple, which allowed us to go through pre-full halfy room. So it's kind of linear. All right, so West Ocean, there's always an item in the bottom left. There's an item above our head, which we can check. It is kind of useful to check sometimes. I generally don't like checking it, but I think there's an argument to be made that you should. I can't even remember is there a setup for this? I could probably learn it on the fly. Is there an easy setup, I wonder? With this? There's gotta be something. Maybe not. Oh, there we go, Spazer. Okay, so there is kind of a setup for that. I don't really care about Spazer, obviously. Missing it 3 times? Okay. No, I've never actually learned a setup. I know without high jump, there's something, but... Yeah, add that to the logic. Thank you. Okay, so the map is above our head, right in there. So I'm going to assume that this is Phantoon. So I checked this bottom door to see if it's ammo or blue. It's blue, so it could be Phantoon. It's not Phantoon. I can get out of this, so I'm just going to check real quick. More power bombs. This is a great seed so far. Thank you, Baron. Okay, just leave. Oh, add that to the logic page? Yes, please do. Okay, so now this is a little bit annoying. In this setup, with everything going on here, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. If we look at the map, it could be heat into heat. I did just save the ship though, so it's not that big of a deal. I just commit. It is competitive after all, and if I am playing someone like Aussie, like I said earlier, I feel like Aussie is doing this exact thing, or went to Norfair for whatever reason. Okay. I'm playing someone like Andy. So this leads to the map, so I'm not going to do this yet, but I will need to do this. The reason I'm not doing it now is because I assume Phantoon is top right or middle of where we're going here. So we check to see if this is an ammo door. It is, so that can't be Phantoon. Don't need Spazer. We already checked that. And this is more than likely Phantoon. However, I don't have missiles. Would I do this? This is an annoying situation here. Here's what I'm gonna do. So this plan is good if I find missiles within like a minute and a half. So I'm checking this last remaining door, essentially, seeing where it leads. I am gonna check this elevator. So, and I would do this in a competitive setting as well, because, like I said, if I find missiles in the next minute or two, then we're good. However, no missiles. So now I decide, do I go left of the ship or do I just kill Phantoon? Missiles inside the save. Hey, it could have been a two-way save. I didn't check. We're just gonna kill. So this fight is about, and it varies depending, right? I'm gonna want a super missile, even though we should be getting one. This fight is, well, like 2.5 to 3.5 minutes, depending on patterns. So now, if I go and search for missiles, you know, if I get 5 missiles, the fight's still going to be like 90 seconds. So that's why I said if I don't find something within a minute and a half, it's kind of just a loss, you know? What this really hinges on is whether or not you get like all slows. If you're getting all slows, it really sucks. If you're getting like fast and mid with a super kill, it's actually not the worst thing ever. I think a lot of people are afraid to kill Phantoon as well because they don't know how to dodge the flames, but it's fairly easy. Oh, and I'm just getting slows. That's a rare slow. What beams help with flames? We just added plasma and wave to Dragon Farm logic. I mean, I think the combination of plasma and wave or spazer and wave, because spazer and wave is pretty good, right? I think, but wave itself kind of sucks, doesn't it? Or maybe it's just plasma. Maybe just plasma for Phantoon farming, honestly, right? All right, so this is actually really decent. Solo wave hitbox sucks. I honestly think it's just plasma that's good. Because if I were to take off wave with plasma, it's still fairly easy to farm these flames. All right, so at this point, if I'm in a race, I'm feeling okay because I would have gotten here fairly quickly. My decision making would have been a lot quicker than me sitting here trying to explain stuff. And this fight wasn't that bad. And now I just get information. So. So even though Mother Brain is somewhat close, I think there's a couple different ways you could play this. We did see Mother Brain already. You could say, well, I'm just gonna bypass all of Brinstar. But the reason I just want to do this fight now is I'm already here in this region. And is this gonna work? I don't know, let's find out. Oops, it was fine. And I'm already in this region, so I'm just gonna get it done. It'll probably take me a minute and a half to get back there anyways later on. And it's kind of neutral, I think, at that point. And also, I want to see if there's anything else lurking for items. So, Mother Brain is below us. So, we're going to go now with this information. We see left of ship is an item at Phantoon. And here's how I'm going to play it. I've already decided. I am going to do this. Through, grab, probably save. Or no, not save there. Grab, save. These are probably super missiles because I already have 25 power bombs. And then I'm going to Meridia. I'm leaving this until after. So that's how I would want to play this seed, I think. No end peak for the map. I could. So that could be factored into my play. But also at the same time, I really kind of just want to do Meridia first. But here's the thing. So if I peek N and it's within like 10 tiles, then I go for it. Then all of a sudden I'm trapped. However, if the map is close, there's also the plus side of I get information and I see that there's 2 bosses there. And then if I go up to Meridia, I know that I might be able to skip a zone if there's a boss in Meridia. So that is the positive side of checking N. But I think if you do that, you have to like set a limit, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you have to commit, you know? That's not even gonna work. Let's see what this is. Okay, X-ray. Very nice. Now I can do that R jump for that missile, I think it was. Oh, I got a missile here. Hell yeah. We're stacked up. Okay. So now, like I said before, down the elevator, checking the item. And then I do have to make that decision if I do want to peek in. If I peek in, like I said, I have to set a limit for myself, I think. To where if the map is like really, really far away, I kind of want to commit to N or M, because it's okay. So this is a water map. It's kind of far away. I'm actually just going to go back. So, yeah. Okay. I am going to skip that E-Tank, yeah. If I'm playing Aussie, aka you, or Eddie, well, Eddie's like whatever, but or Nito, I feel like I need an advantage of some sort. So I'm playing just kind of aggressive, I guess. I don't know. I didn't even consider that E-Tank, really. So I'm going to save here. If Meridia is absolute trash, then at least I have a pivot back to Norfair. The water map, the reason I thought it was relevant there is because that means I have to traverse further left. So the map isn't like right there. The map is actually left, down, then right. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw that. Okay, so there are a couple scenarios now that I'm thinking about when I'm doing this. The scenario mainly that I'm thinking about is obviously if there's a bunch of heat, I need to figure that out. But okay, so let's see what the map is. Okay, top right, pretty much. If Ridley is here, how do we deal with Ridley? I'm going to do this. Does this work? No, let's actually do this. I think I can make that work if I had Spring Ball, probably, but yeah, okay, this is good. So the map was right, so I'm just gonna go right. Huh? Okay, so I'm just trying to get the map. I just need information. Okay, so the map is up. Ooh. So we grab this because now we're set on water movement. Yeah, it's actually really nice to get Spring Ball at this point. I had it saved there, so there is a small chance actually that this door goes right and then up. Yep, okay. Ow! Okay, so going up. Yeah, it's in logic anyways. I just didn't feel like doing it, but... Oh, nice. Okay, so we got to the map. Perfect. No. So, get to the map. Let's see what we're dealing with. So, I decided to do this instead of Norfair. And, okay, so that's speed locked. And Ridley's not here. This is actually really good, I think. Because what I'm going to do is revert. I'm going to go grab those 2 major items. And then if they're both somehow trash, which I highly doubt, then I am going to revert and then go to Norfair. So now, like, this is the risk I would take. If these items suck, well, then that's a GG. We hope that we do good in the copper bracket. But I wanted to take the Meridia risk because I liked the idea of going to the top of the world and then working back down with the information as opposed to Norfair and then potentially going back up to the top of the world after Norfair information. I think both plays are reasonable. There might be an argument that Norfair is better because it's closer to Mother Brain, and I think that's valid as well. Let's see if I can even do this. Ah! Close. All right. Yeah. We're battling off in the Wood League, huh? Okay. I'm just gonna kill you both. It's just a missile anyways, doesn't really matter. Okay, so with ice, this is in logic. Spring Ball just makes it easy. Everyone's favorite part about map randos is the water movement. Pack 2, thanks for the 10 months. So, like I said, I am banking on these items being good. I already have a couple trash items, aka X-Ray. We're gonna... Well, hopefully this works. Sometimes you just kill the thing. Okay. Grab a C-Tank now. Grabbing the E-Tank after is a little bit more aggressive because if we get Varia here, we can then skip that E-Tank I just grabbed, but it's kind of nice to have those. All right, Space Jump is kind of nice. However, it's not a necessary item. The only items that I think are necessary right now are Charge. And Gravity and Varia aren't necessary quite yet, but also very good. But I'm hoping for Charge. Okay. So this was a very, very good decision. If I were to be in a tournament setting, I'd be very happy that I went to Meridia instead of went to Norfair. It worked out in this instance. It doesn't work out in every instance, but I think that I'd be feeling pretty good about this play. Yeah, I have the spoiler log open, yeah. No spoiler log, sorry. It's still locked, so. One more quick peek to make sure I'm not leaving anything else behind. Sometimes you can easily overlook Ridley hiding in between like a crevice, so basically it's just right back to Brinstar. And now the only thing I care about in this seed are 2 more E-Tanks, that's it. And I remember there was one E-Tank that I left behind before I came to Meridia. I'm probably going to grab that. I think it was a green door. Or a blue door into a green door. I just remember green. So, I try to remember those key things, and I think a lot of players do, because that helps you navigate without having to look at the map all the time. Spoiler log a draft option. That'd be cool. Kind of. I wouldn't want to play Nitro, though, since he looks at the map once and his memory is good. All right, so we're immediately going back. I don't have bombs. I'll just save them. So I think this was a little bit more aggressive. Maybe not the perfect seed because there wasn't too much going on. So yeah, we go down. It was a green door, and then I'm going to Norfair. Was there anything else? There was just Spazer. All right. And I think Torian. The only other option in Torian, I believe, was just the other Norfair entrant, which was yellow door into a red door. The Meridia exit, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm kind of gonna ditch going for major items now because we found pretty much everything we need, and I just now need one more E-tank. Oh, now I need 0 more E-tanks, so now we're go mode. If this was a race against Eddie or Aussie or Nito or Nitro, I would be playing really, really confidently now at this point. Yeah, I'd be super happy with the decision. Or Techno, I mean, I'm always confident. So. All right, so I remember that it was a water map to the left, and there was a couple saves in the vicinity as well. So I'm gonna take this. One reason I kind of like to save in a new zone when I'm going for the map is you might be able to revert if that save is closer to your objective. This map is going to be annoying, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be annoying because I don't even think that was a two-way save. Say it ain't so. It wasn't. Oh, dear God. So this is why... Remember when I said... You remember. When I said I didn't like committing to this map, especially if it's a water map, because water maps, you have to enter from this side. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what kind of god-awful route is going to get me to this stupid water map? You know what I mean? Like, which route am I going to have to take? And I was kind of right. This sucks ass. So if I would have committed to this, I don't know. I'm just getting cooked, I think. So in this instance, I'm very glad that I didn't. Okay. I'm going to see if I can Shine Spark through that. I can, if I'm a god. Almost a god. It does go left. I'm just going to go. If Varia and ammo is here, nah, I think that's still trash because basically...
Watch and learn. Jumps.
Kind of need to refill here. So unless you run into ammo along the way, like
This is so sad.
nothing but ammo along the way, Lunix, I think it's just trash. I need to check this right door because now I just need, what I need is missiles so I can Crystal Flash. Okay, we're gonna do this.
Right.
Some more missiles though.
This game fucking sucks. It sucks.
Okay. So this just loops back. I'm gonna grab some missiles here. Okay. Gonna do this. Okay, we're good to go. So bad. Oh, come on, a cack. It's not that bad. I'm gonna let my health go down. then I'm going to Crystal Flash. Hopefully this bug doesn't come get me, unless I'm just insta-dead. But we're good. All right, so now I can make it through Mickey Mouse. You need to be a little bit careful. Everything kind of hits hard here. So with this, I definitely want to kill these. And then you need to get a short charge here, or else you're taking a hit from one of these. Ah! Like that. Yeah, but how? Where would you have gotten the charge? Spark to the pre-spore spawn room to get through Croc. Hold on, let me look at the map. Yeah, I guess you can make that. If you're a coward, I guess. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Okay, bombs. I remember the map is kind of... Okay, so I know that save is... There is no water save. That, oh, this is nice. Oh, so this is just a dead end. There is no save that has water that has 2 doors. Oh, E-Tank, nice. That's why it's good to sometimes understand what you're dead ending into. And I kind of like to play maps that way. To where if I know something's a dead end, I like to play towards it. Okay, so missiles. Okay, water map. Okay, so big pink. Then we're gonna see what's here. So the only thing my eyes are scanning for now, I probably just grab this just because it's all free, essentially. The only thing my eyes are scanning for now is Ridley, Kraid, Dragon. So Ridley to the right. And that's it. So before I do Ridley, I'm going to wreck ship. Because I'm going to wreck ship regardless. Like 100%. And I might find Varia and wreck ship or more E-Tanks. And that just makes it that much more free. I think if I recall correctly, there was Heat before Ridley. And I don't know how it connected to the left. But I just remember Heat. So I'm just going to obviously delay it. I think in any regard, it's smart to delay this Ridley fight because there's no urgency. Because if I looked at the map correct, there's no other alternative other than wreck ship here. So luckily we have a lot of HP now. I'm going to pause to see where the map is. It's top right, so now I don't need to go through that yellow door. Right to criteria, so that's kind of tough. I don't technically need anything. So I'm gonna play right to criteria here. Yeah, everything's in C. Well, Kraid, Dragon. So since I come to a point to where I don't know if it's left or right, I pause. It seems like it's to the right. We're probably gonna get green shaft here. How does he know? I just know, baby. I do like to peek this item if I'm in the area. So then it should just be one of these doors here. We already killed Phantoon, so. Okay, it's not, so it's just to the right here. Okay.
Watch and learn, chumps.
And we got Kraid. Yep. Has to be Kraid. If it's a boss, which I knew it was, I know it's directly across, so it's Kraid. Howdy, Sin. So all I'm looking for now. Here, let's do something fun. I'm gonna pause and on pause. The moment I see Dragon, I'm gonna on pause. See if you can see Dragon as well. Okay. I assumed we all saw Dragon. Easy spot, that's right. I'm pretty sure this connects. Yeah. Oops. So what I'm gonna do is this. Ow.
This is so sad.
Okay. So this fight's easy. We have charge X-ray. And now, if I recall correctly, Ridley, I'm probably going to do like an extremely quick pause when I get back to, what was it? I don't know. Not Wreck Ship, but the other one. Was it Brinstar? Oh. I didn't do this right. We do.
8-minute pause. Man. Oh my God.
I think it was through Spore Spawn Supers. So at this point now, I'm just trying to optimize everything. That's not gonna work. Try it one more time, or else I'm gonna be kind of in trouble. Okay, I'm gonna do this. This is Thread the Needle, I think. Not Thread the Needle. What is this item? Okay, so we got that X. All right, so if I was like smart, I would have gone and checked that item, but we were trying to be cool and quick. So I'm not going to do that. But what I do need to do is this. Turn off high jump. What is the gamble? Okay, I'm doing a tutorial, guys. I'm like talking about stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's a ton of water, so if that's specifically, that has to specifically be, I take the bottom door, gravity. So we can actually talk about that here, which you guys are annoying because I'm doing a goddamn tutorial. So this item, even if I saw it before, might not be worth going for because I don't need Varia. I don't need Screw Attack. I don't, Spazer was already located. So there are 3 items outstanding. If it's Varia, it's trash. If it's X-ray, it's trash. So there's a 33% chance that that item is gravity, and then it speeds up a little bit of my movement. But if it's Varia, it doesn't matter. There's a refill in Big Pink that I'm grabbing before anyways. Well, unless that was specifically Varia, I wouldn't need to grab it, but there's also that item, which I don't really care to see what that is. Okay. These are the really small decisions to where I actually don't know what's better. Because if I don't know if, like, I don't think Eddie would ever go for that. I don't know if any other top player would go for those items now at this point. Because it specifically has to be that item, you know? Like, the only item that really speeds it up for me is gravity. And how did this connect? Okay, so it's refill, and then I was right. Well, we can get it from the other side, but... So now with this, I would just collect this. Fill up on everything. I might even... No, actually, it doesn't matter, because the ship is before Mother Brain as well, so now I think Varia is extra not worth going for, these items. Like I said, I think the only item that's beneficial is... I'm going to do something sneaky here. The only item that's beneficial is... It's sucking ass. Gravity. Savings for chumps. We don't need to save here. It's free. Yeah, Ridley's like dead, but... You guys are kind of annoying that you're trying to make me speed up a little tutorial process just so the believers can win. I don't like this doubt. Or I don't like this gamble, rather. Like, then I have to, like, suffer the like talking and going through stuff has to suffer because you guys want to gamble like degenerates. So I don't even need anything here. So now I would leave back the way I came. Ranch. Okay, so now at this point, all I'm doing is looking at the mini-map. So my eyes are pretty much just glued to the mini-map. I see now I go to the right. And this is how I would pretty much just navigate the rest of the way. I remember that I didn't go through that. I came through Green Hills, so I'm just gonna retrace my steps on the mini-map. I see a heat room. Which heat room was this? Oh, we have to go up now. Okay. So that's why sometimes it's good to look at your map, but it's probably the same. It just depends on where this takes us. Oh, there's only one way back. Oh, the Croc Speedway. And then, okay. Sometimes it's good to look at your map, but looking at your maps for cowards. Just ask Nitro. This is a little bit annoying because my HP. Which I'm just gonna save just for the sake of, you know, not dying and looking like a fool here. Like I did at the start. So I might be fine. We just gotta get through this. I think it was like 2 hell runs, though. I'm going to get a couple super missiles here, so it's not the worst, but... Because then I can just do this. All right. So going back to the top. Yeah, so this seed was a little more straightforward. The only real deviation potential was the was Meridia or Norfair, and even though I took Meridia and it was like the right decision at the time, I think, and I think I would probably win from that, unless it depends, because if people, we can talk about it afterwards maybe. If people don't go to Meridia, they go to N, and then they are forced to keep checking for either charge or start collecting majors for, or start collecting ammo for a solution for Ridley. And it's really, really hard to actually know if one is faster than the other, even like after the fact. There was a lot of X's in Norfair, but we don't know that. We don't know anything going into either zone. I think probably what it is, the main thing is the heat kind of prevents you. So there was 2 E-tanks to the left, Aussie. So I think if you do go to Norfair, and you mentioned you probably grab those E-tanks. And then that kind of, those E-tanks are kind of bait though, because it forces you then through. I feel like if you're, because I feel like if you got those E-tanks, or if Nito did, you're kind of just going. You're not going to turn around there, right? You're probably just committing. So, I don't know. That's the tough part. And I believe now it's just down, yeah, down there and to the left. Yeah, then if you commit to N in that regard, like, that's probably pretty bad, I would think, right? I don't know. That's obviously all hindsight. We only go off the knowledge that we have at the time, so. And the knowledge that I had at the time was Norfair was probably better, but I like the Meridia play. Assuming that I'm playing against a high-rated player. I don't hate the believers. I'm just talking and stuff, and I'm not racing. I'll race after this. Who's ready? But yeah, so this one was a little less informative, I suppose, because there wasn't too many crazy decisions. It's fine. There wasn't like, the only decision, like I said, was Meridia, but Aussie makes a good point to where you are kind of locked from heat. Clear, is it usually worth just charge, but supers are low this seed? Yeah, so it really just depends on how easy and accessible the supers are. There was a super in Bubble Mountain, whereas the ship's just, well, I can't get it from there. Oh, look at this. That's so stupid. Ugh. The ship is directly above our head, and it's a 1-minute escape. Yo, I wonder if X-ray climbing would be faster here. That'd be so funny.
Yup, there's another sniper.
Probably not, no. Unless you're like a TAS X-ray climber. Oops. Alright. So, I'm going to finish this up, and then we can look at the seed again. We just go ahead and look at the map. And then talk about it post-analysis. Alright. So let's take a look. So, nothing really, the credits don't matter. Alright. So, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, with all the hindsight and everything.
Oh my god.
we can see if like what I did was good. Obviously, like, and it's important to understand, like, when you're making decisions, it doesn't matter if the decision is right or wrong after the fact. It just matters that you are like sound in your reasoning for doing something, or you can just single sell it and it doesn't matter because that's fun, right? But if you're trying to get better, you're gonna win. If you play 100 races, instead of winning like 25 seeds because you're just single selling it, you're gonna win 75 seeds because those 25 you're gonna lose are because that's just the way it works. But you're making decent sound decisions those other 75 races. You know what I mean? And unless you're Aussie in season 4, you're gonna lose regardless of how good you are. Yeah, so this is pretty nasty, this heat, but isn't your win rate like 20%? And that's just an example, Mr. like 15th seed Lunix. All right, so thanks for the 4 months. All right, so this was easy. This was probably the easiest early game. There's really nothing to even examine. You just get speed. You just get that. One thing that you could do is maybe grab these before. Aussie, do you know what is the... Okay, it looks like I'm drawing a dick. What is the logic for dropping down into this room? Do one E-tank? Because I did a setup to where I don't get hit. But this was actually a little bit odd at first. And I am very curious to know. What did Brinstar look like? Was there just an easy E-tank? Or something? So you go in here and then you... Maybe this? Yeah, super talented, yeah. Might be 2 hits. So at least 1 E-tank. Okay, so it expects us to probably come up and grab this. I'd assume. I can't remember if this was an ammo door, but I think it was a... So the start here was a little bit odd, so let's talk about it. So I can talk about the actual logic. The game, if you remember, it gave us speed right away. And then we get the map, and then we see this. So speed gives you this item as long as this door is blue, because we didn't have any other options at the start. So we come up here. We get power bombs and high jump. So then once you get high jump, you immediately think about this item. It's probably safe to save before you do this, though, because there is a scenario to where the game wants you to come up here, which it does, before you come down here. So the game wanted you to do this. We had 0 E-tanks. It wanted you to, from high jump, you shine spark up diagonal left, up to Brinstar. And then Brinstar, there's an E-tank. And I think just 1 E-tank does it. So I wanted you to find this E-tank. You would find this. You wouldn't be able to grab this because we don't have morph yet. You would leave. I think that was supers. You would then get this E-tank, and then you'd be blocked. And then you'd come back down. So this right here is a big time loss. So playing the logic, people go, oh, so why are you doing this to where, like, you clearly can't do that, or you shouldn't, because this takes like a minute and then we just backtrack. So we try to cut out steps essentially. And then with that, you come down here, you get morph. We can't get plasma unless you underwater wall jump, which at a higher level, you're going to want to do that. But that's plasma. And then it wants you to take a hit from the Avirs with that E-tank you got, and then you just leave. And then from this is interesting now because you could go into Norfair from here. If you played Logic because you have an E-tank, you feel maybe more confident that you don't need to go back into Bryn. You've already explored some of this. And it really depends if you know what this item is. I don't think you can see the... does a square show up? I can't remember. You probably want to just go back, though. Anyways, so if you enter... Ooh. There's a couple interesting ways that you could play this. So if you enter here, I mean, it's okay. Essentially, if you enter this, you're toast. Which I did consider doing this at first as like a deviation, is enter from Torian into Norfair here. I would probably see this save and then try to get to it if I could, but I don't know. And then you would immediately find all this and go, wow, this is terrible. I don't think you can really progress beyond this unless you do Shine Spark up through this, but I don't think that's enough HP. You just hit another heat room. So I think that would just be a loss. Let's see here. So afterwards, if you're like me, you fumble around over here, and then you definitely lose to everyone because it looks like I'm drawing a dick every time. Because there was no other path. It's funny. Remember I said we rarely think that it's just up and then right to the map. It kind of just was up right, except with another step. It's the way it goes, you know. Maybe I should rethink the way I play a map station. If it's over here, the map station, and I enter here, and then we can't see any of this in between. Like none of this is here. Do I just take the first right door because I'm trying to get over here to like an up shaft? Or do I just take this and then try to get over here and then, you know, I don't know. It's kind of tough, but maybe I could rethink that. Flash, thank you very much. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think, from this point on. The only thing that I deviated from was instead of going into N and committing to that map, I didn't like that it was a water map. So I decided I didn't want to leave Meridia behind, which was a decent decision. But let's talk about if you grab this, and then we have 3-in-1, I think, which is good. And then I would skip all of Meridia. Do I lose? So if I go into Meridia, I mean, it's kind of a pain. How long did I spend in Meridia? Probably like 5 minutes. So Meridia does give you Spring Ball, which is nice. Because then I don't need to ever look for water movement. My water movement is good. Up when you can seems like the smart play for the map because there's fewer ups than left and rights. Yeah, let's play this again. I don't know. I actually don't know. It really depends. So this was Space Jump and this was Charge. So maybe I lose here if... Let's see what it looks like. Let's see... Because the hardest part here is, can you navigate through Norfair? I think some players can and some players wouldn't be able to. So the other option was come down here with like 3-in-1. So you have this hell run. You can refill. You save, you can refill. So that's totally fine. You come down here, not an issue. Then you come across this. You can Shine Spark and then get through this with 3-in-1 and this. I'm pretty sure fairly simply. I didn't, I just went through Mickey Mouse because I forgot that, you know, I could just easily just get up here. I think a good player that does this with 3-in-1 and then they go up to the map probably wins. Because this is a super missile pack. However, this was a super as well. And do they check it? Maybe they check it before. I don't know. Because if they don't have Varia, they probably come over here. They see this is heat. They go, oh, this is not good. They might farm somewhere, which would take some time if they want to like go back up to this and then come back down. But I think they still win. So it's super missile. Get the map. They see this. I don't know if they even check this because there's really no good way to kill. Unless that's specifically Varia. Yeah, we started in T, yeah. Yeah, is there a race channel open? And then at this point, they'd go into W, but then they come across more heat. I wonder if this is Varia. Yeah, because if it's Varia, you keep. And then you would maybe just do this to see what this item is. To that. I think going to end, I think you would beat me. I think Nito would beat me. Anyone that can move and do like really tricky hell run movement probably beats me here. Because even though Meridia was kind of, I thought, good at the time, and this is what I've said before. Someone said, do you like this season and is it balanced? I said, I think it's kind of imbalanced because I think they need to remove 1 or 2 super missiles from the pool. Because even if we find charge, almost every single seed, I'm ending with like 20 and whatever, or like plenty of missiles and like 15 to 45 super missiles, regardless. Like, charge feels really useless. It almost feels like we have to get really good at routing and ammo now. So I feel like even removing 1 super pack and then increasing the power bomb pool at the same time would be better. I think 2 might be the perfect amount, or it might tip slightly to not balanced, but like closer to balanced. You know what I mean? Like there's somewhere in between, but obviously we can't get half a super pack. So that's the way I feel. I don't know if other players feel the same way. It just feels like the meta is pretty much you just need ammo, and we're rarely finishing with wow, we're rarely finishing the game with little ammo, you know. But I don't know how other players feel about it, but yeah. And even just 1, even just taking away 1 might be good. It just feels like there's just a slight imbalance, in my opinion. A very slight imbalance. I've also had the privilege of playing like a million of these things, so, you know, that's